Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation hosted by CJ Abernathy for South Dakota District 23 Senate 2020. A father, an activist, a Marine Corps combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, Purple Heart recipient with a bachelor's degree in information technology software engineering. CJ is the executive producer for the Adam vs. the Man podcast with Adam Kokesh, and the CEO of Internet Warlords, the War for the Internet, as well as a former 2018 South Dakota Libertarian gubernatorial candidate, and a 2020 South Dakota delegate to the Libertarian National Convention. If you would like to join this broadcast, click the link in the description. Coffee and a Conversation starts now. Have a great day or don't. The choice is always yours.
Coffee. What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ, the Internet Warlord, coming to you live and loud from the great state of North Dakota. You know, North Dakota, it's the state just north of Nebraska, the state just south of North Dakota, that Dakota, the state formerly known as South Dakota, until the Queen of Meth, Governor Kristi Noem, declared by proclamation that we are all on meth. And the world has never been the same since. I didn't go live yesterday. Had a migraine Thursday night into Friday morning. Decided that you guys can survive the day without me. And hey, look, the world's still spinning. So no harm, no foul. But figured I'd hop on here today to let everybody know that I will be going to Freedom Fest today. It's hosted by the Libertarian Party of South Dakota, Minnehaha County Libertarian Party. And it's the second annual. And now it does start at 10 o'clock today. And you guys would think that I would be on my way right this moment. But Kendall she's on call for work until, was on call for work until about 13 minutes ago. So you can't really take off until that is out of the way. So, I mean, there's going to be food, there's going to be entertainment, just a good time. So if you are out there in the world and have nothing to do today, I highly recommend coming out to the Freedom Feast, not Fest. I don't know why I said Fest. It is what it is. So the Freedom Feast. And good morning, Mercedes. That's your favorite county to say, Minnehaha. I call it the Big Hee-Hee, you know. So I don't really call it Minnehaha because I call it a big hee-hee. It's a little inside joke. So, but yeah, the Freedom Feast. Don't know why I call it Fest. Freedom Feast. Greg Baldwin, Devin Saxon, I believe are the two that have been really putting this thing together. And, there's going to be a lot of good times there tonight. So, I'll be camping out with Kendall and Aubrey, and we got to bring our dog because nobody will watch our little ball of energy, Daisy. So we'll be out there tonight and hopefully pitching a tent for the win. You know, get some camping done. Yeah, pitching a tent for the win. Dad jokes for the win. Yeah, amen. Got to hit them with them dad jokes at early in the morning on a Saturday. So, but yeah, so ribs and chicken and pork roasts and yeah. Dog. What dog? Our dog Daisy. She's a black lab. She's a ball of energy. So, yeah, wasn't live yesterday. I just felt like I looked at the news and I had some residuals from a migraine, which was torture. And, yeah, it was a hell of a night. So I looked at the news and I said, nothing breaking here. There's literally nothing going on in the world that requires my immediate, hey, look at this. So I didn't feel like it needed me. Adam versus the Man was an interesting 2 days. It's been an interesting 2 days to say the least. So But I figured I'll give you guys the skivvy on the headlines here this morning while I'm waiting and getting ready to go. And if anybody wants to join, of course, there's a link in the description where you can take over half my screen, and hell, sometimes I'll even give you the full screen and tell us what's going on in the world. So I don't know if I got a picture of Daisy or not anywhere. I think I would. Let's see if I can find one. Go to my own page. Let's see here. Daisy. And posts. Ah, yes. I do have a video that I can show you guys. This is Daisy and Dakota here. Dakota's humping Daisy. I don't know why she's doing that, but just a dog thing, I guess. But you can see Daisy right there, and Aubrey in the background. But she's a black lab. I bet a lot of you were not expecting that at all. So, but yeah, those are our two dogs, Daisy and Dakota. Let's see if I can find a better picture of Daisy. I got some pictures of Daisy being lazy, you know. Just doing her thing. She's a good dog. She hasn't actually shit in the house in a minute, so that's let's see, a good girl. Good girl. Good Daisy, as we would say. You know, just a little picture of Daisy when she was still a little puppy. I mean, she's gotten a lot bigger in the last few months. So I'm hoping that people will show up to Freedom Feast, though. Be a good time. All right. Well, you know, like I said, I wanted to show you guys what's up in the world today. So here we go. Donald Trump keeps blasting universal mail voting, but few states are planning that in November. Hey, you know, I don't really care how people vote. Honestly, it's all rigged. So to pretend like it's not is just dumb. And I think it's a waste of energy and time. And I don't know. So let's see here. Let's see. Oh, of course, Kamala Harris is going to be in everyone's mouths for the next few months. That sucks. Kamala Harris changes the race while Trump tells on himself. Man, see, and this is why I'm just like, you guys really care what the news says anymore? Belarus opposition leaders reemerge after post-election crackdown. Like, whatever. Man wanted in connection with Ranch 2 fire in California is believed to be violent. That's an easy way of saying we want to kill this guy. So British tourists rush back from France to avoid quarantine. Like, okay. Gavin Newsom, the slave owner from California, provides COVID-19 update. Don't really care. Trump attacks on the Postal Service deserved sustained red alert coverage from the media. Not really. Don't care. Here's even more. New York Post columnist Kamala Harris is political chameleon with eye on Biden's job. Duh. Hey, real quick, let me explain this. There is two parents for every person, right? As far as I know, there's no such thing as immaculate conception. So your genetics, right? I'm not going to get into how babies are made, but you know, you'd think you're half your mom and half your dad. And that would determine, you know, that would determine, you know, what you look like, you know, what you sound like, you know, what you're predisposition to medically. So Kamala Harris's mom is Indian heritage, and her dad is of Jamaican heritage, but her dad isn't African Jamaican heritage. Her dad is of European Jamaican heritage. So how the fuck is she out here calling herself an African American? And I know people are going to sit there and go, well, I don't really care, CJ. It's her policies, really. It's her policies that I'm more worried about. And it's like, but listen, I get that it's the minor argument to make, but it's an argument nonetheless that she can sit there and literally lie about her race. Good morning, Mr. Dingle. Yes, Freedom Fest is an oxymoron. That's why it's called Freedom Feast. And it's a good time. We're gonna be free tonight at the Palisades. And I'm bringing the guitar off the wall. I'm gonna sing my song called Queen of Meth. Debut that tonight, hopefully. And yes, of course, good morning to the Looky Loos and the Keyboard Patriots, obviously. So here might be an interesting one. When is the Democratic National Convention? Does anybody really care? Mercedes, do you care when the Democrats pick which pedophile and cop they want to lead their party? I don't. And so, I mean, it just is what it is. But I don't really see anything else in here that is of any value. I mean, I guess they kind of give ByteDance a 90-day deadline to sell TikTok. Now, wait a minute. When does the government give deadlines to private companies to sell to their US-based companies? I feel like this is an example and a beta test into bullying technology. I mean, because why let China spy on us when the government does it for them? I don't understand it. And again, just nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing. I'm scrolling. I'm seeing nothing. Oh well, and that's just it. So, I mean, that's your news. Like, this is where we live in, where we're just waiting on pedophiles to tell us what to think and how to vote. And I don't even know if I want to continue it anymore. Like, maybe I should, I don't know. Maybe I should talk to Mercedes before I make any rash decisions. Good morning, Mercedes.
Good morning, CJ. I don't know why you think I'm going to be the, voice of reason here. I can't even make my hair nice.
Oh, it's not about your hair. I need you to be the voice of reason.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can do that.
Yeah, give me some sound advice.
Don't read the mainstream media's propaganda first thing in the morning.
Yeah, that's the perfect time to read it. Okay, it's first thing in the morning, so you can get that junk out of your way in your day, and then just.
I guess that's also what I do. Sound advice. Use common sense and critical thinking skills in determining what you need to actually worry over. I don't fucking know. Happy Saturday! I'm glad you get to go eat that barbecue.
Yeah.
Barbecuing.
I'm gonna go get my baby back. I'm gonna go get my belly full, and I'm gonna have a good time. And
you know what the part though? If nobody shows up, that just means you guys get to eat more food.
Well, I think that there was 100 people interested in going, and
so you have about 25 people show up.
Yeah, about 25. I bet a quarter of that shows up, So, I mean, hey, still 25 people out there in the middle of nowhere talking about freedom and eating food. I mean, and not mad at it.
Big ha-ha county.
Big
hee-hee. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't... A mini ha-ha. Yeah. They weren't really thinking about that one,
well, it's a Native American word.
I know. Yeah, I understand.
But that's kind of like Chicago means land of the smelly onions.
Does it really?
Yeah, and Nebraska means, I think, land of flat water.
No. No way.
I learned that when I was on my Chicago band trip. So if they told us
Okay.
that and it's a lie, I'm gonna be sad because I really
What
Googled it like
does
twice.
Chicago? What does Chicago mean?
And
Chicago is derived from the French rendering of the indigenous Miami, Illinois word Chickawa, whatever, for the wild relative of the onion. What the fuck? It
Land
is
is
known as botantis, as I don't know. Again, you're not wrong. It's a relative of a wild relative of the onion.
land of the smelly onion. Chickawa.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
so fun fact about when people came through here to name things, they took names from the indigenous language as a tribute to the land
God,
that they took over. But they didn't give them actual nice names.
I mean, it was like they gave them all the joke names. You're not wrong. I mean, it literally means flat water.
Yeah, but the Platte River was a mile long or wide and an inch deep. We are nothing but flat land of rivers and water. We have a lot of swamp in Nebraska.
Okay, Mercedes, we're going to get into a better topic today. Does water find a curve? Does water curve?
Water clings to itself, so it follows whatever route that is easiest for it to go through.
No, Mercedes. The question is does water always find its level or does it curve?
It curves. It has water. It's surface retention. That's why water drops are round.
No.
Sometimes it curves.
No.
Sometimes it comes up all the way to the top
And it bubbles
right
over.
before you get it to flow over. Like if you fill it up just enough before it fills over, it'll round at the top.
Yeah, it's surface retention.
It will round at the top.
Yeah. It clings to itself.
I don't know. I feel like that's the most important Google of the world today is does water curve?
Water drops are round.
On yours.
Water drops are not round. They have no actual defined shape.
Well, okay, then get down on the molecular here. Okay, then show the molecular shape of a water drop if you want to go there.
We're gonna Google battle today. Okay,
We're gonna.
hold on.
Yeah, okay. It's an atom.
Molecular shape of water.
I'm just gonna let you do it because this is gonna be great for me.
Angular molecules, also
It's an
called bend or
angular
V-shaped, have a
molecule.
nonlinear shape. For example, water, which has an angle of about 105 degrees.
So 105 degrees is a obtuse right triangle.
So water is triangular?
Water is bound in a triangular structure by round hydrogen and oxygen atoms, molecules, because it's elemental. It's all round, and so that's when you get them clumped together. They're like in a round like shape, because round is the default,
Okay, the bigger question then is what shape is the Earth?
not flat.
How can you prove that,
CJ,
Mercedes?
I want you to call Elon Musk right now and get us on a rocket ship, and for science, we are leaving this Earth, so that we can prove it once and for all. Thank you.
If I could get Elon Musk on this broadcast, Mercedes, if I had that kind of pull, I would call him up right now and be like, "Hey, Mr. Musk, sir, can you come talk to us about the shape of the Earth?" And he'd go, "I don't have time for that."
I mean, honestly, you go, hey, Elon, I would like to talk about aliens with you. Could you come on my show and talk about rocket ships and why you're so concerned about getting off of the planet right now?
That is a great conversation. Aliens, Mercedes, where do you stand?
They're real. It's insane to think that we are the only living organisms in intelligent living organisms in a trillion-year-old universe.
In a trillion-year-old universe, it'd be crazy to think we're the only intelligent life. I agree.
Unless it's all a hologram and we're actually just a dream right now and the Matrix is real.
There are people that think simulation theory is real.
Yes. I know.
I tend to lean more towards simulation theory than I do the biblical theory of the creation theory.
Oh, but if you get into the creation theory and you go back,
Mhm.
because Christianity is not the oldest religion, so then you got to get back into the history of what came before Christianity, because everybody forgets that Jesus was Jewish.
Wait, I don't know if he was.
Jesus was Jewish.
I
and
don't think
he
Jesus
was a
was
carpenter.
Jewish.
Jesus was a Jew.
He was seditious to the Jewish religion.
Hold on. We're going to Google it. What?
I'm sure they'll say he was Jewish, but
Jesus. Well, what happened was that his parents were Jewish. His mom was Jewish, so he was born into the Jewish religion.
okay.
And then,
whoa,
as an adult, during that time frame, which there are no written records,
you're gonna tell me that God was Jewish?
I'm going to tell you that God was an alien.
He was born a Jew.
Oh no, he was not born a Jew.
Oh my God!
Oh my
CJ.
gosh, have you ever read the Bible?
No. Listen.
You
God,
just want to argue today.
God was just born.
No, God just is.
We're not talking about God. We're talking about Jesus.
Which is God.
No, Jesus was a human that was born to a virgin and then became God when he died and rose up from the dead.
All right. Well,
Jesus was born a man.
Welcome to the Church of Coffee. May we raise our cups and pray all to have a good day, or
But that's
don't.
what I mean, is back in the time of Mary, people would get pregnant by gods all the time because Judaism wasn't the only religion then. It was just one of the main monotheistic.
If a woman came around today and said that she was carrying an immaculately conceived baby, what would we be saying?
You need to go get some mental health help. That's
Well-
exactly what we would say.
We would also know that we have DNA genetics we can test and do all that shit. But, there's a lot of people that believe that, she was raped and that she covered up that by, because that's was a terrible thing to go through in those days. So just...
My biblical theory is that she was engaged to David and didn't want to marry David and had a boyfriend who was actually like a Roman soldier, and like she diddled him and got caught, and then like she's already engaged, she can't marry the person she wants, so they're like, hey, or whatever. Like, see, his name doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter what the man's name is. Wow.
Well, I mean, she said the whole time Jesus was like, she raised Jesus with this guy, and this guy at the beginning of her pregnancy goes, "Yeah, I'm not the dad, but I'll marry her still so she doesn't die."
Yeah, to like make it, because in her religion she would be,
stoned to death.
Stoned to death,
because they were only engaged and she got pregnant, and that is a sin.
And wait, you ready for this?
Die.
You ready for this? I want you to Google this one, Mercedes. You ready?
Yes.
What was her age? What was Mary's age at the time of the Immaculate Conception? Ooh, here we go.
Got pregnant with Jesus. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5th Google search down, by the way.
Dang.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
12 to 14.
So God is a pedophile.
Remember, we had this conversation in Jewish religion. Once you are 12, you are able to marry. She was an adult. According to her religion and her society, she was an adult. And in France, they just lowered the age of consent to 15.
So God's a pedophile. By today's standards.
Oh my God, it's almost like men created God to control the earth.
It's almost like religion is a control mechanism for people in mass groups of societies.
It's almost like pedophiles rule the world.
Unfortunately, and I think we should make hunting them a sport. It would make our Saturdays a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
We'd have like some interesting footage to show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just televise the prison system.
Oh,
That's some
man,
Coliseum.
Whoa. Okay, so let's say you got a for-profit prison system. They're like, we want to televise, which some do. Some televise shows in their for-profit prisons. Like,
They do that. I do have welds on TV that are in prisons.
Yeah. Hey, Mercedes. So switching away from God's a pedophile, and that by today's standards, of course, you got to preface that. I mean,
yes. History.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few of them out there that are in this party going, see?
That doesn't prove you right. It just means that humans finally
All right,
developed a
Kendall's
larger
got
brain.
something to add to this. 'Cause
Yes.
somebody-
I like Kendall.
The life expectancy of a person during the time period of the New Testament
Uh-huh.
is 20 to 30 years old. At the time
Okay,
of
so...
So there you go. That's why they reproduced
birth.
younger,
The
because they
average woman would have her first baby at around 12 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, so again, by
Mhm.
today's standards, though,
Because-
that's pedophilic shit.
Yep. But back then,
But I
like,
guess-
Yeah,
like-
but how old was the boy? The boy
I
was
guess.
maybe
Oh, okay,
13,
so I
14
guess
years
what we're
old
gonna
as
say
well,
is that as time progressed, we realized that this is not the age to have children as a society, and
it's
slowly,
more of we are living long enough that we are able to mature more before we are forced to have children. Because if the prime time for a woman to have babies is between 13 and 19, because that's when our bodies are primed and ready to make babies.
So what you're saying is that the prime time for a body of a woman to recover from birth
is during the teenage years, because your body's it's technically still growing. So like it's not mature yet. It is hard on you. It stunts your
which
growth.
is why after
you-
a certain age, women have a harder time having babies.
Like
and-
30 is when you start getting into it's going to be a little bit harder. 40 is when they're like, you shouldn't do it because your eggies are bad now and you're going to get into some birth defects. So like the prime time for us is at the beginning. Is it healthy for us? Not exactly. Is it harder on our bodies? Yes and no.
I'm so glad I'm a man and never been more
Yeah.
happy to be a man and
See
have
what
that
happens
privilege.
when men rule the world? Women's health is neglected
Oh man,
for generations and millennias because
I'm the guy
science.
that says women should take care of women's health. I don't
And
want
that's
anything
why-
to do with. I mean, what the women come to the consensus on women's health, I have no right to make a decision.
And that's why we like you, CJ.
But and the flip side's also true. If men form a consensus on men's health, women have no right to say a thing.
Nope. Even
Yeah.
when it comes to like, if Matthew and I had talked that if we ever had a son together, that when it came to the time to deciding that after medical procedures, health medical procedures, circumcision, I was gonna let him decide because I don't have a wiener.
Yeah, no, that's
don't have a wiener.
that's a man's decision to make, right? A lot of single mom. I mean, breaking news out of Nebraska, folks.
I don't have a wiener.
District 37 Senate, right?
Yeah, I'm a woman for cisgender female.
Yes,
There you go.
yes, heterosexual cisgendered female. I'm assuming.
Bisexual.
Okay, either way, identify it as you
I'm-
choose.
Yeah, I'm cisgendered female.
Okay,
That-
yeah, and which again instantly means you have privilege, right?
I don't know. It depends on what world you want to talk in. If you're talking like, manufacturing.
In today's society, Mercedes, who do you think has more privilege, men or women?
Ooh, it's getting close to where the privilege is getting to be pretty equal now. I can honestly say that the equality between men and women it is slowly coming to, the gap is closing. I've seen it close.
Where do you? Okay. So where do you think I, as a man, have more privilege than you?
I don't know. You get to stand up to pee. You have that option.
That you actually do too. Have you ever heard of a shiwi?
Yes, I have, and I actually don't need one to stand up.
Okay,
That's
break.
not really privilege that you can pee standing up.
Well, that's what Mercedes labeled.
I think
it.
it's a little bit of privilege. It's a little privilege.
That's like a human body fact. Like that doesn't give you an advantage just because you're a man. You can pee standing up.
Well, I
You can
asked
still
for
pee.
examples of what privilege I have over Mercedes or any other woman.
And that's what I mean. If that's
And
the only
she
thing
says
I can
standing
think
up to
of.
pee.
If that's the only thing I can think of, though.
Being taken seriously at a job interview.
Being taken
sometimes?
seriously at a job interview sometimes is what Kendall says. Being
That's
taken
true.
seriously
Depends on the person.
at a job interview sometimes.
If you and I showed up to a manufacturing job where the position was welding,
Okay. I don't know how to weld worth shit, so you're.
but I do, and I've trained people how to weld while they got paid more than me because they were a man.
I don't know if it's because they're a man.
They didn't know how to weld, and I had to teach them how to
I have
weld.
a hard time believing that.
And then they found out he was being paid more than me, and they gave me a raise.
Right, and that's where I would logically say I don't think it's based on what's between your legs or your XY chromosomes.
But they didn't want to give me the raise. The only reason why I got the raise is because the manager threatened the other manager who was in charge of giving people pay.
Right, but again, I mean, I don't think the specific in that is going to be because you were a woman. I think it's just going to be that they got hired on at a higher rate than you, and they just so happen to be a man with less skill. Now, listen, when it comes to, let's say, for example, Mercedes child support. In custody cases, how often does a man get custody?
In Nebraska?
Well, we can take Nebraska or any other state.
Well, let's take Nebraska since I have some like good news to report on this kind of privilege change.
Okay.
So, when I was growing up, I could 100% say that the state of Nebraska was a favor the mother state. We'll say that, where they, without a doubt, believe the mother, hands down. These men are trash, whatever. And then within my lifetime, since I've been growing up, since I'm only 30 next month, I've seen that change because I have several men in my life that are my age and your age that have sole custody of their children. That the women tried to take custody and tried to be dirty and tried to do that. And I'm not saying it doesn't keep happening, especially in this area, because we have a family law problem here, and we've been protesting it, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So little protests. Because
But, okay, so to the overall percentage, Mercedes,
I would say probably at this point in time, 75% of women are given sole custody of children without actually digging into the case.
Okay, and so when it comes to children, women have a privilege there, or actually I'd even argue more of a defended right than a man. I would also say, what happens to a woman when she can't afford to raise children?
Oh, then she becomes a burden on the state, and or her children are removed from her care.
I love how you're not
In the state.
Yeah, I love how you instantly jump to burden on the state instead of, well, she gets welfare and housing. And
No, burden on the state. The state takes over raising her children instead of giving her instead of
if the man had the children
now,
and couldn't afford them, he would
Mercedes,
be the
if
same
a
burden on the
man doesn't pay his child support,
he gets his license taken and he goes to jail.
Yeah, so essentially the same.
And then he can't provide.
Right. So, I mean, when I hear people say that men have privilege and women don't, I absolutely think that's a misnomer and a myth.
I'd say that our privileges are different and that comparing them is never going to make anybody happy because we are privileged in different ways. Like, you can work your body to the point where you can pick up 300 pounds. And I'm little enough, I can't ever do that. And that's a physical... and I don't care because I'm little.
So scale of 1 to 10. You give me where you think it falls on the privilege scale. Standing up to pee.
Oh, a solid 3.
A 3. Okay. Being paid more than the opposite sex.
A 6.
A 6. Now, I said it that way because, let's say, for example, I try to go to the medical field. Like, Kendall is a manager of the radiology department. She's going to make more money than me in the medical field. Yep. That's just bar none.
I was actually going to use that as an excuse.
Right. But
or an example of you not having privilege.
But I'm going to say, like, me going and driving a semi-truck, you know, I might have more experience there. But again, my thought being, like, it's tomatoes to tomatoes. Some industries are more adapt for men and some industries are more adapt to women. So as a whole, I think you have to look at it not from a gendered perspective, but as an occupation perspective.
That's true.
And say that, it's different occupations pay differently. Now, I agree, equal pay, equal work. And that's why, for example, if you start off at a job like driving a semi, you're going to start off at $20 an hour, whether you're a man or a woman.
Yep.
You know, as long as you have the same CDL that I have, you're going to start off at the same pay.
The road doesn't discriminate.
No, and the road don't care about the highway. Don't care.
Highway don't have no feelings.
Yeah, the highway. I feel like we should be playing that Tim McGraw
Okay.
song here. real
Oh my
quick.
god, I love that song, Mo.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, but okay, so we got that. So, giving childbirth, the actual process of birthing a child, does that give you a privilege?
Today, 2 years ago, I was in labor, and I was in labor for 27 hours. And she got stuck, and then I had to get her cut out of me.
I would argue that that's a privilege.
I would say the ability to give life is a curse.
Well, okay. No, I mean, okay, so I'm not going to take that.
It's a
there is-
privilege. It's a miracle. It's
But
beautiful.
look what gets to happen for women. So let's just break it down for you. I'm not going to get into how babies are made, but a man and a woman bump uglies.
No, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much, they give each other a special hug.
Oh, okay. And now, a guy, hey, I'm having a baby, and it's fist bump. All right, cool, bro. Hope it's a boy. Like, good luck on getting that first boy. Everybody, either way. All right, but then a woman gets to sit there and have that 9 months of look at me.
Oh my god. I spent 9 months going, don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't look at me, don't come near me.
Actually, I saw a post that you shared where you're like, I'm not even taking phone calls. Like, unless you need me, don't talk to me. Yeah,
when I was pregnant, I realized the history of women and
you knew
the
the
things
whole history, and it was like,
as a pregnant woman, a woman who realized that what I was doing had been happening for the entire existence of the entire civilization of humanity. And then I was thinking about how, like, women are, like, told to sit down and shut up. In my area, sit down and shut up and stay home and raise your kids, and you don't need an education, and all you need to do is smile and wave and be pretty and stay there and make these babies that take things out of your body and physically destroy you mentally and physically. Your hair falls out. Everything is different. Everything changes. Like, you have literal stem cells in your blood that circulate to repair the damages to your organs that the baby causes because they kick them. So much things that women don't talk about because no one wanted to hear about it before because it's not pleasant. I'm one of those women that hated being pregnant. Pregnancy sucks. It is not fun. You have a stranger stick their hands inside of you every couple weeks. You have 18 people in the room with you looking at your hooch when you're having a baby. You have no privacy when you're pregnant. Everybody is, look at you, look at you, look at you. And all you want to do is be left alone and sleep.
yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like you it's a hard time to go through a childbirth.
And then if you breastfeed, like I am, for 24 months, then you breastfeed every 2 to 4 hours. Every day for 2 years.
Right, and I'm not okay. So I'm not saying that that's okay. I mean, I'm not saying.
I think it's a privilege not having to go through this.
Okay, so all right. For a privilege for a man on a scale of 1 to 10, what is the privilege of not having to bear children?
15.
Okay.
And I will say this though. I hated being pregnant, but my husband absolutely loved it. He enjoyed watching me being pregnant so much. His and I's experiences being pregnant were completely different because he didn't have to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that aspect that it is nice to wake up every day and go, I don't have to shove a watermelon out my butthole.
See, mine was only 6 pounds though, so it was more like this, and it was cut out. She's a tumor baby. She was stuck. She was real stuck.
Okay,
like,
so
real stuck.
Yeah, and then you get into that aspect, and it's not like taking a poop.
No, it kind of feels like it though.
I mean, I feel like we're spending a lot of time on the baby talk, but I mean, at the end of the day, okay.
Education.
So there's privileges, and we can agree that men have it in one aspect better than women and women have it better.
It's not even
For
better or
example,
worse.
I would say women are more likely to be believed in courts where it's civil courts where there's no juries. That's
if there's no jury, yeah.
I would say that they tend to have that presumption and of
Depends on the court, though.
preponderance. Yeah, well, I'm saying preponderance of evidence. They tend to be believed more often than not. And I mean, because they always side on caution. When you hear it like, oh, there's a domestic dispute, when you hear the word
Honestly.
domestic dispute, the first thing that comes to your mind is okay, he must have did something to her, even by just hearing those words.
Here, you'll enjoy this story.
Okay.
So this one time in
That
2013,
band camp?
no,
Okay.
in 2013, I went to jail for the first time for assault and disturbing the peace because my mom and I was 23. My mom and I have a horrible abusive relationship. I'm talking like cops were called a lot when I was younger because we'd get into fights all the time. So we went out. It had been a few years. We thought we could rekindle something, that we could go out and drink and maybe bond a little, do something healthy. And we ended up getting in a fight at like 2 a.m. And she was a corrections officer at this time. Not in the county we were in, but the next county over. And she already knew everybody in the county because of what she was doing. And she was already friends with all of the police force in town. So we get into a fight and she assaults me because I'm the guest, and she wanted me to go drunk drive from her house because she was mad at me because my sister and I were fighting because my sister, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I went to jail because they called the cops, and my mom was definitely on top of me and like not being good, and they didn't look at any of the evidence. I told them what happened. They didn't believe me. They took me to jail. Whatever, I get out. And then I get a letter in the mail because I, at the time and still, could not afford my own lawyer. So I opted out to have a public defender. I get a letter, and at the time I am welding. My name was Mercedes Lieb, Lynn Lieb, okay. And I was welding. So I get a letter from the district attorney's office, and it's titled Mr. Mercedes Lieb. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And then I open it, it goes, Mr. Lieb. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I'm like, whatever, it's a mistype.
So
it's cool.
No. It was a drafted, it was already pre-written.
No.
Oh, no.
So then I'm just doing written correspondence the whole time until I have to appear in court. So then I appear in court because they want to do a plea deal of attempted third-degree assault.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I'm going to assault someone, I'm going to do it. There's no attempting. And so I walk in the office and I talk into the people, and they're confused. They're visibly confused. And I'm like, hey, I'm Mercedes Lieb. And they're visibly confused. And I find out it's because they thought I was a man because it was a domestic disturbance and I was a welder, and they didn't know how to pronounce my name. So they assumed I was a man. Because my mom and I had the same last name, and they thought that I was her husband or something beating her up. So before they even knew my sex, they had already been trying to, my lawyer, thinking I'm a man, was already trying to plea deal for me without even knowing I was a woman. And then I came in, and he looks at me and goes, oh, this is going to be a lot easier. I thought you were a man.
So privilege in the legal system? Scale of 1 to 10?
Sexual bias, first of all, because of job occupation and the incidents that happened.
Again,
and then I got
legal.
no, because we
legal
no, because
privilege. That's
I
exactly what you just described.
they yeah, I mean yeah, and he I don't like anyway. So we ended up going with disturbing the peace and 9 months unsupervised probation because my mother used correctional training while intoxicated to assault me.
Oh. Again, legal privilege of women on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah. So they tried to they thought I was a man, not
because
a man.
Of your occupation and your name, huh?
And because of my name, they couldn't pronounce it. I was a welder, and the domestic assault and disturbance happened with 2 people with the same last name. So they assumed I had a penis.
I mean, I assumed that already. No, I'm joking. So.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. In college, they all thought that too because I out-welded them.
Oh, dang. So Yeah, no, again, legal. I'd say that's a legal privilege. I got a question for you on a personal level, Mercedes. This is more of a personal thing I want to get out before I go for the weekend here. Can a lawyer give you legal documents via email and have it be legitimate?
Oh, man.
I mean, again,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So I'm going to say
in a civil case.
no, they have to be mailed. You have to use the mail for that stuff. You
And a
can't.
certified process, right?
Yeah, you can't. See, and that's when we go into the post office now. Yeah, you can't be emailed like when we bought our house, we used that legal interweb way where we could send legal documents, but there was a certain way to do it. You can't do that.
But
with
you
legal
were
procedures.
consenting to that, correct?
Yes, but you can't do that with legal procedures. Yes.
For civil procedures.
Not yet, at least.
You can in some states where the defendant has legal representation and their lawyer has confirmed that they can accept service from their client's behalf via email. So that was just a little question there. I wanted to see if most of you would know it, if most people are aware of this. And Mercedes, I got to tell you, there's a part of me that goes, man, all right, so women have it better in some avenues, men have it better in others. I mean, I do like to stand up to pee, but I'll tell you what, you get me groggy at 5:30 in the morning,
Sit.
and I might just pop a squat and just go, it ain't worth it.
Privilege.
Privilege. The choice to sit or stand.
You have indoor plumbing. Privilege.
I mean, again, I like to take a seat, like.
What did she say?
I think she said I sit most times. I ostensively object to that.
I love your fiance so much.
I just object to that notion that I sit down all the time. I would tell you.
What are you doing right now?
When I take a piss, Kendall.
I like Kendall. You should have Kendall on.
A lot of shit.
Yeah,
so
I've tried to tell her she should have her own show.
No. She should be on it with you, just to keep doing this.
I think she wants nothing to do with this broadcast Monday through Friday. I think.
What about Sunday?
I would do a Saturday morning show with her before.
There you go.
I told you I would do a Saturday morning show.
Oh, well, you can do a Saturday morning show.
With you. It would be bonding.
No, it'd just be us arguing the whole time.
But that's
about
content.
Political philosophy.
What do we do?
And everything else in between. You're more of a libertarian left, and I'm more of a libertarian right. So.
My house, too.
I was a libertarian first, and then I pulled him over, and now he's went way, my momentum was too strong, and he went too far the other way.
So you're saying that your fiance is the actual true libertarian because she made you.
Well, she's technically the chair for the McPherson County Party of South Dakota. So.
Is she?
Yeah, it would be a really big conflict of interest for me to just start running everything. So.
I also pulled my husband over, and he is also trying to start taking over.
Yeah, but see, the thing was that she started pulling me over when it was Gary Johnson with all his shenanigans. So it was like, yeah, I don't know. I think more like mindset wise. I obviously voted for Donald Trump because I fell into that. Well, if I don't vote for him, she's gonna win. And she's the devil.
I definitely did not vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, tell me you didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. Oh my God.
She didn't win, and she's not the one in charge right now. So really,
I would much rather say I voted for Donald Trump than say I voted for Hillary.
I want nothing to do with this dumpster fire, and I want no claims. I did not vote for him. I have nothing to do with this dumpster fire.
Yeah,
mine.
No, listen. Yeah, no, I get that. And so I guess, but I would rather say when it comes down to it, if I had to line them up and say which one of these terrible people did you vote for, I'd say, yeah, voted for that terrible person.
Yeah, I definitely should have voted for Nader, but Nader wasn't running in last election, and that's why I didn't vote for him.
I will be voting for Dr. Joe Jorgensen, the therapist, not the rapist. So
it's really fun watching internet people try to tell me how horrible Joe Jorgensen is, and then I get to go, well, You're Sniff's kids, so.
Yeah, right. Well, and again, I know the campaign doesn't want that to be the focus, but you got to realize that you half your I'd say 99.9 to about 7 decimal points over of the campaign, they don't control. We are the voters that are going to vote for her, and yes, in our circles, we're going to point out, hey, do you know who doesn't have any sexual impropriety in their past? We're gonna wave that flag, that third rail out every day, because how do you have the Red Army and the blue whatever Smurfs you want, kid sniffers, whatever you want to call them? How do you have these people actually have pride in their vote? They don't.
They don't. They literally are like, we have to vote blue no matter who. We have no choice. It's not pride. It's controlling victims into two options that they don't actually have a choice in because you want to keep them being victims.
Again, I don't want to keep anybody a victim, but
when I say you know what I mean.
So I hear what you're saying. Amen.
I hear you clucking big chicken.
Yes, absolutely. So again, I don't want people to think that, you can't, like, listen, if you're a Trump supporter, or if you're a Biden supporter and you're sitting there going, I'm tired of these libertarians telling me my candidate is a pedophile. I get it. I get it 1,000%. But let me just be clear with you. Your candidates are pedophiles. And so, it's okay to fall into I voted for the other team last time, but this time I'm going to vote for the third party candidate. I don't even care if you vote for the Green Party. Just don't vote for the same two parties. And again, if you want us to stop telling you that your candidates are pedophiles, well, that's never going to happen. I've had people that are literally sitting there saying, CJ, we want to vote libertarian, but your guys' tactics are just too much. And what you do online is just pushing me away from Mama Joe. And I keep going, listen, if me sitting here saying and doing what I'm doing online is taking away from Mama Joe enough for you to go excuse pedophilia, you might want to rethink your life, not me. I don't have to worry about those things. Again, I know that's a terrible tactic, as you call it, but I don't call it a tactic. It's a fucking reality check. It's a, hey.
We need people to understand that, how do I explain this? I can't even explain it. There is the truth and reality and things that you see and feel in your own daily lives. Mm-hmm. And then there is the internet. That's the only way I can explain this, because
we're on the internet.
We are on the internet.
We're just talking
on the internet.
On the internet. And so again, if you're listening to this and you're a Trump supporter and you made it through the flat earth and privileges of genders and the childbirthing conversation, and you're all the way to your politicians or pedophiles, congratulations, you might be a libertarian. But here's the thing. If you're sitting here listening to us going, well, your guys' tactics are too much, well, listen, we're not going to change our tactics because we're not telling lies. And, my favorite thing is when you see the left attacking the right, you see the right attacking the left. I like to go like this. When I find the Trump leaners, I tend to start posting shit about Trump.
Same.
When I start seeing people, which again, it's rare on my friends list, start posting pro-Democrat shit, I start posting anti-Biden shit.
See,
but when you find, this is the true how we weed people out. If you're only posting anti-Biden shit in this party, then you're not a big L libertarian. You're a little L libertarian. You're just here saying, well, I'm voting for Joe, but if I have to, it's going to be this. And listen, I'm not going to be responsible for the dumpster fire for either of them next time. Again, there is something that says, all right, I didn't vote for this shit, so I have some right to talk shit about it. Mm-hmm. But listen, you have just as much shit to say I voted for it, and it's still fucked up. This isn't what I voted for. This isn't what they advertised. This is false advertising.
My personal belief, and this is an unpopular one,
Okay.
is
I like it.
is that if you don't vote, you don't get to bitch.
There are people that'll argue if you vote, you're a slave.
I'd rather, well, I mean, at this, I can't even argue that because we are all slaves.
I ran on that in 2018, and it was not the winning message. I promise you.
Well, I'm not. Okay, at the beginning of the pandemic, actually, all year last year, actually, 90% of the libertarians I've met have, not 98, I'd say, I learned as a libertarian that most people are 3 bad months away from losing their home. And I said it all year last year. I was saying it before the pandemic this year, and then the pandemic started. And I said, y'all, this is the example of we're all 3 months away, bad months away from losing our homes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, if you don't at least get involved in your local politics to try to change what impacts your life,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get to bitch because you're consenting to being a slave if you don't
There
speak
are
out.
less than 100 libertarian candidates across the entire country, Mercedes. You and I are two of them. We represent almost 2% of the entire
Wait a minute.
libertarian candidate field.
What?
I know.
There are almost 100 libertarian candidates?
Yeah.
That's a lot better than I thought.
Yeah. And 9 out of 10 of those are from South Dakota. So
We have me, Dustin Hobbs, Dennis Grace, Gene Sidect.
starting to think there's more libertarians than the Libertarian Party counted on us.
We have so many. Actually, let me go Google this. We have.
I saw a post that said it was like 23 statewide races and a bunch of like something like 80 something candidates or something.
Hold on, I'm gonna just
Oh,
Google.
hey, I do got to tell you, I did talk to somebody last night through a friend of mine, Dick Liberty, who does campaign marketing and strategy and things like that. And I'm going to try to work into what he has to offer. Just a teaser, though, because I want to see your reaction the same way it was for mine. What if I told you you could advertise on just your district, right,
Mhm.
on Fox News? So if somebody's watching Fox News, when they go to commercial, it's going to show a Mercedes for Senate commercial. Just in your district, just to those Fox viewers.
Was I supposed to be surprised that happens?
For $50.
Yeah,
No, I'm just saying,
But-
normally you'd think TV time
it's
on
expensive.
Fox News
but
is expensive.
It's not.
But what if I told you, like, this guy broke down to me, he goes, CJ, there's 10,000 so-and-so, like down to the specific number of voters that voted in your district
Mhm.
and in 2016, and of this many voted Republican and this many, like, and you could break that down and have it literally to where you're tracking just the people of your district, that your advertising only goes to just the people of your district. And I was sitting there going, well, I mean, where do you sign me up at? And so then it got me thinking, when I went to the Libertarian National Convention in Ohio, they were saying that the Ohio or Libertarian in Orlando, the Ohio Libertarian Party got like $250,000. And all they did was go to the committee and just, hey, the Ohio Party wants $250,000 out of this money we got. All those in favor, anybody opposed, and not a cricket for opposing it. And then I thought, man, if the Libertarian Party of South Dakota had that kind of money, we could probably get every one of us elected in South Dakota. So, and if you do it right and you target just your districts and you focus that money solely on the voter, and you could put in, he said, $2 per vote. So in my race, it'd be about $23,000 or so. And I could do, like, everybody in my district would know my name by the end of the cycle.
So according to this Nebraska, the elections commission thing, in my district, I have 14,022 Republicans, 5,277 Democrats, and this is August. Oh, yeah, it's this year. And then I have 380 Libertarians and
Wow.
4,810 nonpartisan.
Wow.
So if I get all of the nonpartisan, all of the libertarian, and all the Democratic votes, I still won't beat him if he gets every single Republican vote. But I'll get 9,000 votes if everybody votes. That's registered.
And that's everybody. And is it a 3-way race or a 2-way race?
Is a 2-way race.
So that's obvious. They need a high Republican turnout in your district.
Well, okay, so in our district, the Republican turnout is always amazing. We had 36% of our voters turn out in the last election, and almost all of them were Republican.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're going to have to really be pushing it. But what if I told you could target all those Democrats? You could target all those voters. And
I need the Republicans.
And you could target Republicans and say, hey.
$50 on Fox News, you say?
I believe that was what he said.
I do know that if I go down to our local news affiliate, I can just... Because we have a news broadcasting station south of town. And
we have a news broadcasting station somewhere here too. I should probably get to. And
yeah, my almost brother-in-law, he and my sister have been together for like 10 years now. He was a director at NTV News when he was in high school and after. So, but they're owned by Sinclair News Media, and Sinclair owns all of the news outlets in America.
That's the other thing that bothers me is
Sinclair.
We know that our elections are rigged, our media is controlled, and people still think we live in a free country. So, with that being said, Mercedes, I at least wanted to go an hour today since I didn't do nothing yesterday. But
you need to go to Freedom Fest, though.
Yeah, we're going to the Freedom
Feast
here, so we're gonna get the rest of our stuff packed up, and we're going to head down to the Palisades. 4.5 hours once we leave, so we might be there between 1:30, 2:30, somewhere in there. But
time for eats.
Yeah, I'm gonna go say get in my belly, and I'm gonna sit there and the campfire and
you gotta put a kilt on though if you're gonna eat the babies' back ribs.
As always, go to votemercedes.com and help her win District 37 Senate in 79 days, 15 hours, 46 minutes, 54, 53, 52. I can't wait for this clock to get to 0 so we can be done with this stuff. And hey, win, lose, or draw, Mercedes, whatever happens in the universe, we're gonna run our honorable race. We're gonna do what we believe is right, and to hell with anybody else.
Not compromise our beliefs to please the masses, because good ideas don't need force.
Amen. And that's where I got for today. So you guys have a good day or don't.
The choice is always yours.
Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation hosted by CJ Abernathy.